Buildings are coming to Merge Tactics. If you guys haven't yet seen, Clash Royale posted today on their Twitter a picture of 5 buildings and said, what do these have in common? And it's a picture of the Elixir Collector, the X-Bow, the Inferno Tower, the Tesla, and the Mortar. Now, I think this is overall a good change for the game. However, I do think that these new building cards are going to be very, very annoying because I think it's going to be very hard for troops to hit a stationary target towards the back of the field. If that doesn't make any sense, imagine when you're playing against Rangers and they've beaten all of your frontline tanks, and the Rangers start to kind of walk up into your troops. That would not happen if you were playing maybe an X-Bow on your back line or a Inferno Tower even. So I think that buildings are definitely going to be very, very annoying if they are added, and I think they're going to pose a lot of balancing threats for the game. Now, I'm going to go over the 5 buildings that were shown in the picture just because it looks like these are going to be getting added, but there may even be even more buildings that we haven't seen yet that are going to be added to the game. So I'm going to start off by talking on the Elixir Pump. I think that is an absolutely great idea for the card, and I think it gives an alternative to the Goblin Synergy, which is absolutely dominating every single ruler in the game. The Lung uses it, and so does the Spirit Empress and every other troop that does, or every other ruler that does need that elixir. So every round, you are always wanting to get the Goblin Synergy. The Elixir Pump would give you a very good alternative to it in the fact that maybe it's every round you get some elixir from it. Maybe for the concept, you get every level you level it up, basically, you get some extra elixir from it. So maybe 1 star you get 1, 2 star you get 2, 3 star you get 3, or maybe even more. But I definitely think that is a good idea and a good alternative to goblins, because that is absolutely something that the game needs, is an alternative to goblins, and it should hopefully shake up this current meta, and maybe we'll get something different than the Goblin Rangers and the Goblin Throwers. Now, with the Inferno Tower, I really like the idea of an Inferno Tower in the game. Like I said, I do think there are problems with the buildings being stationary, and they're going to be very hard for your melee troops to get to and your ranger troops to get to. I think that the buildings might take a little bit longer. The game might take a little bit longer with the buildings. But anyway, the Inferno Tower is a very interesting concept because you could have either the single target Inferno like we see from the regular Clash Royale, or maybe even a multi-target like we see from Clash of Clans. And I think they might actually go for maybe a multi-target version in Merge Tactics. Maybe with every level you level it up, maybe every level getting it an extra beam. I think that would be very, very overpowered, but I also think that it would be very good and a good idea for the Inferno Tower. Now, I do think that is going to be one of the most, or maybe one of the best buildings in Merge Tactics, just because of the fact that if it is a single target, it's going to be able to ramp up easily, but if it is a multi-target, you're going to be getting multiple sources of consistent damage, and I think that will be very, very strong. Maybe even a 4, maybe 5 elixir troop in the Inferno Tower. I do think it would be good enough to do that. Now, with the X-Bow is going to be annoying. If you played anything of regular Clash Royale, you already know everyone does not like X-Bow, and I think it will be the exact same for Merge Tactics. I believe that it's going to have a ton of range, maybe even the whole arena. Maybe not the full arena. Maybe you'd have to put it on the second tile at the top like you would with a Throwers, an Executioner, so it could snipe the backline. But I do think that the X-Bow would be very good in Rangers. Maybe they even make it a Ranger troop with the building, and let me just say, it's going to be so annoying if you have an X-Bow at Rangers, just because I would assume that it would have a very fast hit speed, which would mean that it would ramp up incredibly quickly and would do a ton of damage. I don't know about the X-Bow. I guess we're just gonna have to see once it's in the game how it does, but definitely a good idea for them to add it. And next, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Tesla. Now, the Tesla is a very interesting concept because it fits into the electric synergy with maybe the E-Giant and maybe the E-Wiz. It could definitely be an actual stun. It actually shoots stuns every single shot, like the Tesla was when it was originally released in Clash Royale a little bit back, or maybe even a little bit of Evo Tesla action, although I don't think we will be seeing any of that. The Tesla could also be another multi-target troop, just like the Inferno Tower. I know that in Clash of Clans, you can see the Tesla beam coming out of the top of the town hall. I believe it's town hall 12. Maybe I'm wrong on that. You might have to quote me. But I believe that a multi-target Tesla inside Merge Tactics wouldn't fit bad. But if the Inferno Tower is already taking that kind of multi-target ability up, then we would probably see a single target Tesla as well. It would probably fit into the electric synergy, and I think it would just be a very solid building, just because all buildings are, the Tesla is normally usually a very consistent card across all games. Now the Mortar, the last card on this list, is a very, very interesting concept because it fits very well in with the Baby Dragon and the Wizard in the fire synergy. I think it might be similar to the Baby Dragon, but maybe with a little bit quicker of a hit speed, which would make it a lot more consistent than the Baby Dragon, while still allowing for a lot of that splash damage that you would normally see, and maybe you would sacrifice some DPS for it. But I do think that that is a very good option. It will be interesting to see how much splash the Mortar actually does, and I think it's how much hit points he has. Whether there will be another fire card even that fits into maybe a 4 fire synergy, I think that would be absolutely insane. But that would be all for today. There may be even more buildings in the future. I did see some concepts for other buildings that are already currently inside of Clash Royale, and I am very excited to see if those get added. But let me know what you guys think about buildings being added into the game. I do think that overall this is good. I'm glad to see that they are paying attention, but I'm not sure if maybe if these are going to be easy to balance. Let's just say that. But hopefully this update can get us out of this current meta and save the game in its current state. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.